Black people, we need to have a few conversations. I need you to know that I love you. Why wouldn't I? I'm practicing self-love and self-care. I'm practicing bringing great quality of music to my community. I am practicing a level of grace that might be far more than I've ever practiced in my life because we need each other. I had several challenges that I want to bring to the table, to the council of good Black folks, so we could potentially discuss them in a manner that might aid us in being more communicative together for each other. I think that it is most certainly important for us as adults, especially, not that we're ruling out the children, but as adults, that we really start to hear and listen to each other. And I know that's very challenging based on the idea that your attention span is super short and you're probably used to people hollering and yelling at you. And that is the only way that information permeates the thickness of your skull. But because I believe in us, I do believe that if we practice paying attention to each other, speaking with intention and specificity, speaking slowly, and thinking before using our words, we probably would get a lot further in terms of communication. I'd also like to suggest that when you don't understand what someone is saying, you ask more questions. Now, you might be doing that via text message because of the fact that there are lots of ways that things could go in terms of misinterpretation. You might have to ask more questions. Having said that, there may be a level of frustration that comes from your question answering or asking, my apologies, from your question asking. But if your question asking is rooted in information that is required by you and your comrades to further in your endeavors, there should be no frustration. Communication is going to be the way that we grow. And while I'm understanding that this device called the phone and cameras and text messaging in terms of technology, all these inboxes and DMs, all this posting and tweeting and threading and stack, whatever that stack thing is that you're doing, there are more apps than we can contend with. But if you understand the bottom line is you are not receiving the information in a manner that suits what you need to be able to make decisions, the goal should always be to further the conversations on the phone. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You might need to pick up the damn phone and have a grown people conversation. And occasionally, that conversation might not go so smoothly. We can communicate nicely. We can debate. I have, unfortunately, been called dogmatic when it pertains to debating. And occasionally, because I'm so passionate, I might cut you off in the middle of what you're saying because my point could come off a little more important than yours. Because of the fact that we well understand as adults that we won't always agree, it is most certainly okay to take a break, go back to your perspective corners in order to create peace amongst people that you say you love. Black people. There's the other idea that it's okay to say that you cannot afford a particular service or you need to make payments and installations or installments on payments with small businesses. Why is this okay? Because most certainly, if you are interested in doing business with each other and you are low on cash, or your check didn't come on time, all the reasons that one might have for not being able to support another, if you're honest and truthful, you should have no problem with fulfilling the obligation of a deposit. Now, if that deposit has to be cut into thirds or fourths or twelfths in order to retain services, in order to be able to purchase whatever it is that you're purchasing from me or anyone else, there's a possibility to negotiate. You don't have to go and disappear. You don't have to lie and tell people, I'm going to give it to you the day before the event at the 12th hour. No, you can call someone on the phone and say, hey, are there any other possibilities for us to potentially work together that might be a little more conducive to my current state of financing? Finances, financing. You can finance anything. I just want you to be clear and concise. Black people, please do yourself a favor and venture out of your communities. Take a notebook if you have to, because the hospitality industry particularly requires a level of customer service that says we can really be nice to each other all the time, and you might get better compensated. Black people, when we all have a time to go somewhere, I don't care if you're sleepy or not. Being on time renders amazing results as it pertains to professionalism. If you're on time, you get the opportunity to smooth out all the imperfections. If you're late, you're rushing and sweating and doing all the things while my phone is ringing. And Daryl Johnson is calling me while I'm recording a video. Hi, Daryl Johnson. Because I'm going to put this shit on the internet. What's going on? Now he got nothing to say because, I know how you do. Anyway, let me turn this up.